There once lived a man named Daniel. Daniel wasn't rich. He didn't have fame, he didn't have power. But he had something many people lacked, a generous heart. Daniel believed in something simple. If you can help someone, you should. And he lived by that rule every single day. If someone needed money, Daniel tried to lend it. If someone needed advice, Daniel listened. If someone needed time, Daniel gave hours. He stayed late helping coworkers finish projects. He helped neighbors move furniture. He drove friends to appointments. Whenever someone said, "I need help," Daniel was always there. At first, people admired him. They called him kind. They called him generous. They called him a good man. And hearing those words made Daniel feel good. Not because he wanted praise, but because he believed he was doing the right thing. For years, Daniel continued living this way, helping, giving, sacrificing, always putting others before himself. But slowly, something began to change. Something Daniel didn't notice at first. The more he helped, the more people expected his help. What used to be gratitude slowly turned into assumption. At work, coworkers stopped asking politely. Instead of saying, "Can you help me if you have time?" they'd say, "Daniel, I need you to finish this for me." At home, neighbors no longer thanked him for favors. They simply assumed he would always say yes. Friends started calling him late at night with problems that were not really emergencies. But Daniel still helped. Because saying no felt wrong to him. He thought that kindness meant sacrifice. He believed that good people always give, so he continued giving and giving and giving, until one day, something happened that made Daniel pause. It was a Friday night. Daniel had worked 12 hours that day. He was exhausted. All he wanted was to go home, eat dinner, and rest. But as he was leaving the office, a coworker stopped him. "Hey, Daniel," she said casually. "I didn't finish my report. Can you do it for me?" Daniel looked at the clock. It was already late. He had already done his own work, and this report would take at least another hour. For the first time in years, Daniel hesitated. He felt tired. Not just physically, but emotionally. Something inside him whispered, "You don't have to do this." So Daniel took a deep breath. And he said something he rarely said. No. Just one word. Simple, calm, polite. But the reaction shocked him. The coworker looked at him as if he had just insulted her. "What do you mean, no?" she asked. Daniel explained gently, "I'm really tired tonight. I need to go home." The coworker's expression changed immediately. Her tone became cold. "Wow," she said. "I thought you were a nice person." Daniel felt the words hit him like a stone. A nice person? Hadn't he helped her dozens of times before? Hadn't he stayed late countless nights helping others? But now, because he said no once, suddenly he was no longer kind? Daniel went home that night feeling confused. He replayed the conversation in his mind again and again. And for the first time he began noticing something painful. Many people around him didn't appreciate his kindness. They simply relied on it. There's a big difference. Appreciation comes with gratitude. Reliance comes with expectation. And expectation often comes without respect. Over the next few weeks, Daniel started paying attention. He noticed how often people asked him for favors, how rarely they asked how he was doing, how quickly people disappeared when he needed help. One day, Daniel's car broke down. He called 3 friends he had helped many times. One was busy. One didn't answer. One said maybe later. Daniel ended up calling a tow truck and handling the situation alone. That night, he sat quietly thinking. For years, he had believed helping people would strengthen relationships. But now he realized something uncomfortable. Helping people does not guarantee loyalty. Helping people does not guarantee respect. And helping people does not guarantee love. Sometimes, it simply creates dependency. Daniel didn't become bitter. He didn't stop believing in kindness, but he started learning something important. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Think about a candle. A candle can light many other candles. But if it burns endlessly without protection, eventually it melts away. And that is what had been happening to Daniel. He had been burning himself out to light everyone else's path. So Daniel made a quiet decision. He would still help people, but he would no longer sacrifice himself completely. The next time someone asked him for help, he paused before answering. Instead of immediately saying yes, he asked himself a question. Do I have the energy for this? Sometimes the answer was yes. Sometimes the answer was no, and when the answer was no, he said no. At first, some people reacted badly. They said he had changed. They said he was becoming selfish. But Daniel began noticing something interesting. The people who truly respected him respected his boundaries too. Those people said things like, "I understand. Take care of yourself, no problem." And slowly, the people who only valued his usefulness began drifting away. The phone calls became fewer, the requests became smaller. And Daniel finally had something he had not had in years. Time to rest. Time to think. Time to live his own life. For the first time in a long time, Daniel felt peaceful. And that peace taught him the final lesson. Helping others is beautiful. It is one of the best things a human being can do. But helping others should never require you to destroy yourself. Because a person who is exhausted, drained, and empty eventually has nothing left to give. The healthiest kindness comes from strength, not sacrifice. From balance, not exhaustion. So help people. Be generous. Be compassionate. But remember this truth. You cannot pour water into someone else's cup if your own cup is completely empty. Protect your energy. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Because the right people will never punish you for having boundaries. And the wrong people will reveal themselves the moment you create them. And that is the shocking cost of helping others. Not that kindness is wrong, but that kindness without limits often reveals who truly values you. And who only values what you can give. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below.